Hey there. It has been quite a while since I've sat down in front of the camera and done one of these progress type videos. I had kind of lost quite a lot of interest in a lot of creative things for a little period. I was a little down in the dumps when my husband's father was in the hospital, and then when he passed away, it was a lot harder on me than I think I was able to express, and it kind of sat with me for a long time. So I wasn't very productive for quite a while, but recently, especially with all of this cold, I have just found myself so drawn to moving my hands and making and creating and working on project after project. So I actually have a few finished projects. I've shown two, probably you've seen two so far. I did Logan's socks, which I showed a couple weeks ago. These are quite long. They come up to just under his knees. They have a darker cuff and red toes. These have been laundered and worn, and he loves these. These are fantastic for when he's going outside to play in the snow in his little snow boots. They're great on cold days. He always wears his little slippers when he has these on because he's very preoccupied with the idea of possibly ruining them. So he's been taking the utmost care, which is amazing. So yeah, number one. Number two, my mittens. I had started these maybe within the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I feel like this is kind of where the intense knitting has come in all of a sudden. I finished this in a couple of days and finished this one in like, I felt like 3 minutes because I just kind of hungered for finishing it. I needed to finish it. So I used the World's Simplest Mittens pattern by Tincan Knits for the base of this. I cast on for the medium, but I also did a lot of decreasing on the inner arm here so that by the time you reach the wrist, I'm not sure if it's small or I don't know. I didn't look at any of the sizes. I just cast on the medium and decreased, and it didn't really matter beyond that. Cast on the medium, decreased, I think 6 in total, but I did like 2 for each one. So it has this little design and the ribbing. Followed the pattern as is. I did a make one left and then a make one right on the thumb to create this sort of a outcome. Barnaby is such an old man. You gonna lay down? He just came up the stairs and he's looking for me. Are you finding me? Hello, are you stepping on everything? You gonna lay down? Lay down. Go to sleep, old man. He's just sitting here. So I finished my mittens. These are super warm. I held 1 strand of my cozy base and 1 strand of alpaca and silk for this. Really, really happy with how they came out. I wanted to add that little extra fuzz. It is quite chilly here. This is my first pair of mittens that I think that I've ever owned. This is the first pair of mittens I've ever finished. I am so excited to be the owner of these mittens. I haven't blocked them or anything. I don't know if I'm going to eventually wet block. You are hitting the curtain. Okay, he just sat down. He is just all taken over with whatever is happening up here. I thought I had found a end that wasn't woven in. I was going to say I thought I did it. So I found this while digging through my needles and all of that the other day. I found this. This is a ripple crop top. It has not yet been blocked at all, so it will grow quite substantially. Right now it just looks like a little kid's vest, but it does fit. It kind of fits like a very comfortable, almost like a bralette, but with a larger shoulder. I went without doing the sleeves. I actually figured this would be really nice and warm as a layering piece for underneath of my clothes. I love to have something nice and warm against my chest to keep my core warm. It is quite cold. As a matter of fact, when I got up this morning, it was, I think, -14 and felt like -30. So yeah, it's chilly. We have to keep warm. We have to keep wool on our skin. So this is going to be probably an undershirt for the time being, or layering piece as time goes, and then in the summer probably be something really cute to wear with my bathing suit going to the lake. So I'm really excited for this. This pattern is by Jessie Maed. This yarn, I do not remember who I got this from. Years and years ago. This is one of the first few yarns that I ever purchased in the beginning, and it was a shawl yarn, and that's why it has these smaller and it gets bigger, the stripes, so it was meant for a shawl. But then I had this hank of yarn from Twin Mommy Creations, and it had almost every single little color matching perfectly to these rainbows underneath, and I kind of just love the idea of having something as such, and here it be. I haven't worn it other than to try it on a couple of times. I have no idea if I'm going to keep it as is or possibly add some sleeves. I do have more of this yarn right here. I have plenty to add on, like a little cap or something, but I want to see after some wears and washes how the shoulder actually is going to sit on me, because my other one has relaxed. It has relaxed so very much, and it has but I also did a different size, so yeah, plus we'll see. Everything's variable, we'll see. But yeah, I'm actually really excited for this. I will probably be putting this on after this video and wearing it underneath of my clothes just to keep me extra cozy, because tonight is supposed to be -18. Yeah, it's been really cold. It has been quite chilly, but then I'm thinking it's the end of January. That means we are getting a leg up. We have actually had below average cold weather. He is snoring. I don't know if you heard that. So it's been quite chilly. So even if February was going to be just average, which is the average is 25, I think that we will be quite comfortable, like outside a lot more, doing a lot more, just being quite warm in the house even, because I find that to be comfortable temperature for when you're inside, if that makes any sense. I am gonna have a sip of tea, and then I'm going to transition into, what are these noises? Oh my goodness. I'm going to transition into what I am going to be working on, because it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. I can't stop like thinking about what I want to work on next, and I just want to like full on. I have two projects here. Whichever one I pick, I'm just going to go full on after this project, and I am going to be like blasting through it. I know it. I feel it. It's like in my bones right now. So first off, I'm going to show you Amara, which is by Kurihara, which is Rachel Knits Things on Instagram, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. I have to double check that. But there's yarn everywhere. There's strands and strands and strings and things. The reason I hadn't been working on this is because I found another error in my cables, and whenever I do that, I kind of just like just solidly hit a wall, hit pause, it goes in timeout, and I have to like negotiate with myself about, am I going to pull it out? Am I going to let it go? I know with the last fix that I did for my cables. Everyone was telling me that they didn't really see the problem and that they would have probably have left that cable just be incorrectly turned, but that's not me. So I have an incorrectly turned cable on the front here. Tell me if you see it right away or not. I'm really curious, but yeah, it is this one right here. So I have to knit back to here, isolate this portion, drop down the entire middle panel, and build back up. I'm not really looking forward to it, but it's significantly easier than the last thing that I did. So I don't know why I'm putting it off so badly. I don't know if I'm going to be picking this one up next either though. I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong. Like I really, really want to pick this up. There's a good chance I could go with the other one. I don't know. I mean, it's beautiful. I love Snow Chateau and this is absolutely stunning. I will be wearing the crap out of it. I think also because I'm not entirely sold on how I'm going to do the sleeves, so I'm kind of dragging my feet there too. I'll be honest. I think sometimes I just need to be forthright and honest with myself. There's a few different factors holding me back. The cable, the indecisiveness on how I want to knit my sleeves, and just myself. The other project. The other project. So this is I'm proud to say it does not smell like cigarettes anymore. I posted about this the other day. This is my Sizz. I am trying to figure out the front and the back. Hold on. I have the back to use, so let me switcheroo. Like seriously, why haven't I finished this? It's so stinking beautiful. The fade inner piece into stained glass, into Bohemia, into Inner World, and then just starting to add some Other World in the background of the Inner World here. And that is where I have been headed. So this is my Terrestria Fade collection. So this is the front. This is the back. And this pattern is Sizz by Lesley and Robinson. If you're on Instagram, or another way you may know her is as Knit Graffiti. Very, very prolific brioche designer and teacher. Very, very, very well-written patterns. I took right to making her patterns. I love them. I love brioche. This is, I couldn't even tell you how long this is. I want to say it might be close to 4 feet long, honestly. Let me hold it to myself, seeing I'm not very big, but I want to say this is at least 4 feet long already. I wanted to continue to knit this version of my Sizz in a slightly different way than how the pattern calls. So as I have started, I'm going to show you again because I'm going to make no sense unless I show you this. So when you start, I started personally with 5 100-gram skeins of different colored yarns, inner piece, starting such. And then you throw stained glass into the back as you're working inner piece that entire time. Then it's stained glass in the front with Bohemia in the back, working that entire time. Then Bohemia in the front with Inner World in the back, And then I have switched to Inner World in the front and Other World in the back. After this, you will continue to knit forward until you run out of Inner World, I believe. That would be how it would end. But I'm actually going to continue knitting and actually throw the Other World in as the front, and then the inner piece that I started with originally should balance out almost perfectly because these are all the same yarn bases with the same exact yardage. So when you add them all together, you should some sort of equality throughout get. And that is how I've actually been knitting each of the colors. Like, this is my leftover Bohemia. Absolutely teeny tiny. I have been knitting every one of these colors into oblivion until they are absolutely just in this shawl. I have just been kind of, I don't even think I've ended the colors at the end of the rows. I have just joined them right where they are and just allowed them to just naturally fade. I love, because of how I use the faded yarn, I kind of could just get away with that. And I love it. And how busy the pattern is. So yeah, as I said, I'm not 100% sure which one of these I really do want to work on, because this one is just really exciting to me. And as much as it may not look like it's easier, it is the easier of the two. And I also feel like I haven't done like a shawl or a wrap or anything like that for such a long time. It doesn't even make sense. And I'm going to need all of these sorts of things, especially this one. This is going to be probably one of the largest pieces, if not the, like, I'm pretty sure this will be the largest thing I've ever knit. Definitely, since I'm going to be going over and beyond with my sizing for this, and like, we'll see. If I get too big, I might end up throwing some tassels or something in and using up the little extra bit of yarn that should be left at the end, because I don't want to just waste any. I hate all of the leftover yarn sometimes that I get stuck with, and I want to find any little creative way to use as much as I can into my project. And if it's getting excessive, well, what accessorizing bits, or can I maybe make some pretty pom-poms and hang them from a decorative piece, or however, or yeah. So my head has been in like this creating space. I've been really like super excited about spring. I ordered in some seeds. I have a 4th raised garden bed, or no, 5th, because I got a little tiny one. When we moved here, we had 3 already, 2 in the front and 1 in the back, and I'm going to add this additional one to the back, and then my smaller raised one, a little teensy guy, is going to go on the front porch. And I am just hoping to have a very, fingers crossed, prolific garden. I know that I'm probably going to be like karate chopping some deer, kicking some bunnies in the face because they're going to be all over it, but it is what it is. We're going to be probably building fences. The one raised bed that I just ordered has a cover. It was on clearance, so I was like super excited. It's a really good time to be looking for your gardening things right now, because everything is on sale. Everything's clearance. Nobody's thinking about gardening right now. It's January. So yeah, it is the time to get all them good prices in. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm hoping that in turn it will lessen our grocery bills and also increase our want to and just general habits of eating vegetables and fruit. We eat quite a lot of them, but I want to just increase that and try to be as healthy as possible. I'd love to be able to can and do all sorts of things, but yeah. Whatever I'm going to be getting up to, you're going to be getting up to it with me, and I hope that you get like all weird with it and start gardening too. That would be really awesome, because I want to be seeing what you're up to. I'm just doing this by myself, okay? Someone better grow like at least some flowers, please. Help me, join me, be here, right here with me.